Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my in-depth review of the new Astra Militarum Codex, Imperial Guard, renamed. As I mentioned in my previous one, I am really happy with my first impressions of this codex. Not a big fan of the new name. With that being said, let's get down to it. So, this is going to be part 2, specifically focusing on the HQ section of the codex. And now, as we mentioned as I went through in the previous review part, if they have military orders, that's a really good thing because then they get to have a lot of fun. Military orders are awesome. But so to start off with the HQs. Now the HQs on a whole actually pretty much entirely got cheaper. Other than I think 2 of them, the Strachan got a little bit more expensive, which we'll go after, and the Company Command Squad, which is kind of the staple of a Imperial Guard army. Got a little bit more expensive, but that being said, all the additions that you get to the Command Squad got cheaper, to the point where if you get 2 of them, you're saving points anyway. So let's start off. Starting off, the HQ slot is Commissary Yarrick. Commissary Yarrick has actually been dropped significantly to 145 points. That is really nice. He used to be 185, so it's a 40-point decrease, and he's just as awesome as before. Same stat line as before. He now has a Power Claw. It's officially called a Power Claw now. Carapace armor, bolt pistol, storm bolter, close combat weapon, frag grenades, crack grenades. He has Heirlooms of Conquest. He has the Bail Eye and the Power Field. And we'll go over those for just a second, because for those who don't know, the Heirlooms of Conquest, so he has the Bail Eye. And the Bail Eye is, we'll just go over his page. So he's on page 55. So he has the Bail Eye, which is a shooting, can be used in the shooting phase. And it's 6 in range, strength 3, AP 3, pistol. Not bad. Kill a Space Marine on a 5. And he also has a Power Field, which gives him a 4+ invul. So this guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. He is Eternal Warrior. He has independent character. Preferred enemy is orcs, obviously. And yeah, he's a Senior Officer, which is awesome. So then he gets to do the cool, he gets to do the better commands. Summary Execution and Voice of Command. Obviously, I mentioned Voice of Command allows him to give commands. Summary Execution gives, I believe I went over that in my previous review part. But just so you know, it's a Commissar power, and if the Commissar's unit fails a Fear, Morale, or Pinning test, after any rerolls it is entitled to, the owning player can opt to have his Commissar summarily execute one of his Astra Militarum models in the unit. Roll a d6. On a 3+, you choose which model is executed. On a 1 or 2, your opponent chooses instead. Note that neither player can ever choose to execute the Commissar himself, and once it's removed as a casualty with no saves of any kind or count, and then provided a model was executed, the unit then is treated as having passed their test. So it's kind of like the orc boss pull, kill a model, reroll, but this is automatic pass. That's nice. So that's great stuff. 145 points. Really can't go wrong with Commissary Yarrick. He is awesome. He has his 4+ invul. He hits like a sledgehammer. He's gonna be strength. He's only strength 6 though, because he's only base strength 3. So even with the Power Claw, he only goes up to strength 6. But I'd still say for Imperial Guardsmen, that's pretty awesome. Next we have the Company Command Squad. Now the Company Command Squad has gone up 10 points. It used to be 50, now it's 60. But that being said, as I mentioned, the Astropath, Master of Ordnance, and Officer of the Fleet all used to cost 30 points. Astropath is down to 25. Master of Ordnance is down to 20, and Officer of the Fleet is down to 20 as well. So if you include Officer of the Fleet or Master of Ordnance, you are basically even. If you include 2 of them, you're set. You're saving money. They have basically the identical stat lines as before. Not much has changed. They're Guardsmen. Weapon skill 3. So like a veteran or a veteran weapons team or Astropath, they're all weapon skill 3. Ballistic skill 4. Strength 3. Toughness 3. Veteran weapons team have 2 wounds. Veterans have 1 wound. 3 initiative. 1 attack. Leadership 7. The company commander. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 4. Strength, toughness 3. Wounds 3. Initiative 3. Attacks 3. Leadership 9. All with 5+ save. So pretty much standard there. They're going to be still, it's a great choice. It's a staple of many armies is the Company Command Squad, and they're awesome. They're still a great unit to take. Basically, what I love about this codex is the feel hasn't changed. You can still feel tons of bodies, tons of tanks, have an amazing time. It's an expensive army to collect, but it'll be fun. Next we go to Lord Castellan Creed. He has 80 points. Castellan Creed, he went down from 90, so he's 10 points cheaper. And we'll go to his path. Not much really changed with him, I found. I think it's pretty much similar to the old way. He has carapace armor, 2 hot-shell las pistols, frag grenades, refractor field. Kel. Oh, there's also Sergeant Kel as well. He's a Supreme Commander, which he can issue up to 3 orders a turn. That's awesome. So tons of orders. As you check out my previous video for the orders, they're pretty fun. Failed orders issued by Creed must be rerolled. That's great. With Tactical Genius, if Creed is your warlord, he has 2 warlord traits instead of 1. You can either roll twice on the same warlord table or take 2 different warlord traits. Or roll once each on 2 different warlord trait tables. Exactly. Pretty cool. So he's an awesome guy. For 80 points, a lot of fun. I think the HQ section of this codex is very strong and is going to give some awesome depth to some armies. There's also Color Sergeant Kel. He's at 75 points. He used to be 85, so he's gone down 10 points as well. And Kel is Listen Up Maggots. If Kel is the same unit as Creed, leadership tests for orders issued by Creed can be taken on Kel's leadership, not that of the ordered unit. That's great. So Kel is leadership 8. So you're rolling successes on 8s instead of 7s, and you get to re-roll them because of the previous mentioned Supreme Commander and Tactical Genius. Look out ARG. If a wound is allocated to a character in this model's unit, that character automatically passes Lookout Survey test if it makes one. That's good. The wound must be allocated to the model with this special rule instead. Okay, so to Kel. If there's one or more model with a special rule, the owning player can choose which one. And Swarm Protector, Kel must declare glorious intervention whenever possible and will automatically pass the test to take the place of a friendly character in an ongoing challenge. Basically, he wants to save his buddy, Creed. He wants to take the wound. He's in combat. Cool. Colonel Ironhand Strachan is now 130 points. Colonel Ironhand Strachan actually went up in points. He used to be 95. And the thing is, he's now a monster hunter. That's pretty cool. He's got a monster hunter. But he's 130 points. Same stat line as before. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attacks, leadership 9, 3 plus save. So, cool stuff. He has a refractor field. Yes. I forgot to mention, with Kel, no veteran may carry a regimental standard in a company command squad that includes Kel. Next is Nork the Dog. Nork the Dog. One company command squad in your army may add Nork the Dog for 85 points. With a name like Nork the Dog, why would you want to take him? He's gone down in cost. He used to be 110, now he's 85. Great price decrease. Same stat line as before. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 3, 4 attacks, leadership 8. He has carapace armor, ripper gun, frag grenades, feel no pain, hammer of wrath, heroic sacrifice, lookout ARG as well in the other one. Loyal to the end, stubborn, thunderous headbutt, and very bulky. So I'll look him up here because Nork the Dog. So he's basically he's a character that's an Ogren, and he's awesome. So he has heroic sacrifice. If Nork loses his last wound in close combat, he may immediately make his full complement of attacks against the unit that killed him at the same initiative step, even if he'd already made his attacks in that fight subphase. These attacks may be exchanged for a thunderous headbutt. And Thunderous Headbutt is Strength plus 3, AP 3, melee concussive. And there's loyal to the end. Nork must declare glorious intervention whenever possible and will automatically pass the test. So he wants to get in there too and protect his fellow man because he's Nork the Dog. Awesome sauce. Up next we have a couple new ones. There's a Tank Commander, which the Tank Commander must take 1 Leman Russ from those listed in page 102, so I'll go over that in the heavies. Tank Commander is ballistic skill 4, so basically he makes tanks better at shooting. Because I believe tanks are normally ballistic skill 3, so if you give a Tank Commander the ballistic skill 4, hitting better. And there's some really nasty guns that the Leman Russes have access to. And there's a Knight Commander Pask. Same thing. You give him, and basically one Tank Commander may be upgraded to a Knight Commander Pask, 40 points. He's ballistic skill 4, and has a Warlord trait Old Grudges, and he has Crackshot, Leman Russ Commander, Tank Orders. Lord Commissar is up next. Now the Lord Commissar is just the generic version of like Commissar Yark. He's the less cool one version essentially, but they're now really cheap. Lord Commissars are now only 65 points, Lord Commissars used to be, I believe, 85 points, 70 points. So they got them down to 65, so a 5-point decrease, which is nice. As I said, they're just getting better and cheaper. That's great stuff. And he has the same rules, so he's Aura of Discipline, any friendly unit from Codex Astra Militarum within 6 inches. Uses his leadership for fear, morale, or pinning checks. He is a Lord Commissars of 10. Chain of Command, a Lord Commissar may only be your warlord if you have no models with the senior officer special rule, so you can't take any of the higher guys in your primary detachment. Summary Execution, if the Commissar's unit fails to fear, then he does the execution, as I mentioned earlier. Awesome stuff, so great. And then there's a Commissar. Now Commissars are like Lord Commissars, but cheaper. Commissars don't have the independent character special rule. They don't have or discipline or chain of command, but they are only 25 points each, and their leadership 9. So that's awesome. Yeah, you may include 1 commissar for every company, command squad, or platoon command squad in your army. They do not take up a force organization chart slot and do not qualify as a mandatory HQ selection. Before the battle, immediately after determining warlord traits, each commissar must be assigned to a different unit from the following lists, which they then cannot leave company, and then they list all the types. They're cool. They have weapon skill ballistic skill 4, strength toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, 2 attacks, leadership 9, 5+ save. So cool stuff. You can add them to your units. Next is the Ministorum Priest. Now the Ministorum Priest is becoming very popular in various ways. Ministorum Priest has their various prayers. Same way as before. Not really much has changed with the Ministorum Priest. They used to be 45 points, but now they're 25 points. Seriously, the HQ selection of this codex is just dirt cheap. I love it. It is a great codex. Now this is where it gets fun, because the Ministorum Priest and the Primary Psyker, which is next, you can get up to 3 of them, and they don't take up force organization slot, so you can have your 2 HQs plus 3 of these guys, and do not qualify as a mandatory HQ selection. And that's pretty awesome. Awesome sauce. But next is the Primary Psyker. Now, I think the Primary Psykers are going to be an auto-include in everyone's army list. I think everyone's going to be taking 3 of them. Take them. Just do it. Yes. Do it. So the Primary Psyker is 50 points. 50 points. Remember that. 50 points. Primary Psykers used to be 70, knocked down to 50, 20-point decrease. Awesome sauce. Now, the reason why you'd want to take one, once again, you can take up to 3 of them. They do not take up a force organization chart slot, and they do not qualify as a mandatory HQ selection, is because they have access to psychic powers. They are a psychic mastery level 1, and they have access to biomancy. Biomancy. Hilarious. You can give feel no pain to your squads if you get, a good biomancy roll. But my favorite, divination. They also have access to divination, so 3 of these guys are going to be running around the battlefield giving everything prescience, because all you do is you go divination, prescience, divination, prescience, divination, prescience, and then all of a sudden, all your squads are re-rolling to hit. Ouch. Ouch. So 3 squads re-rolling to hit, that's a lot of stuff. Divination, amazing, and you can upgrade them to a Psyker Master Level 2 for 25 points. The old one used to be 70 points. Now for 75 points, you can get a Mastery Level 2 Divination Psyker. Amazing. I like it. Engines here. Once again, you can take up to 3 of them. They do not. And you may include 1 unit of servitors for every engine seer in your army. These do not take up a force organization slot. Do not qualify for mandatory selection. They're awesome sauce. Engine seers also got cheaper. They were 45 points down to 40. Same exact things as before. But they can have servitors, which have mind lock. And let me just look them up quickly, because I think that Mind Lock was new. Servitors Mind Lock, unless it includes an engine seer, an unengaged unit that contains at least 1 model with a special rule, must roll d6 at the start of each turn. On a 4+, this special rule has no effect. On a 1, 2, or 3, the unit is Mind Locked until the start of its following turn. A Mind Lock unit may not voluntarily move, shoot, or charge. That kind of sucks. So it sucks for servitors. They're 10 points each. So that's it. That is my in-depth review of the new HQ section. Basically, everything got cheaper. Most of the stat lines stayed the same. Most of the special powers stayed the same. To me, definitely, I love how this codex is the internal balance. A lot of these, a company command squad would be a great option. Yarrick, 145 points for a guy that will not go away easily. Amazing. Creed and Kell would be fun. Strachan would be fun. Nedog would be fun. For me, I see tank commanders being really awesome. You put a tank commander in a tank, helps kill your opponent. Lord Commissars would be great. And then obviously Primaris Psychers. I see them as an auto-include. They are awesome. For 50 points, you get Prescience. And Prescience is the best thing ever. Having it as a Primaris power for divination is just insane. It's insane. And I get 3 of them, giving 3 squads divination Prescience. Amazing. Especially the fact that people typically roll with Imperial Guard squads really close together, so it'll keep them close. So, I really hope you enjoyed this in-depth review of this is part 2 of all of the HQs. Stay tuned for the next one, which I will be going over the troops. Now, the troops are a lot of fun, as I said. Most of them got cheaper or stayed the same. Wasn't too bad, and I'll be going over more depth in the next review. So please like this video, comment in the comment section down below, and subscribe to my channel if you already have done so. It really does help a lot. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.